Hi everyone, Claire here. Today I will be making a card for you using the new Indigoblu release, and the first one I'm going to use is a holly bow and the Christmas script one. I'll also be using the beautiful Winter Dawn Mega Flake and Flitter Glue. To begin, I'm going to be using a standard 5x7 card base with a craft mat which is cut a tiny bit smaller than the card, and then some Indigoblu perfect stamping card in white that's a bit smaller than that. So taking the perfect stamping card, the first thing that I'm going to do is take this small Season's Greetings, which is this one, and I've placed it onto a Slim Jim. Taking a piece of fat foam that I've previously loaded up with the Flitter Glue, I'm going to ink up my stamp as you would a normal ink pad, and then I'm going to stamp off the edge really quickly in a kiss stamping motion. I'm going to repeat this process all across the card. Once I've done that, I'm going to take my stamp and I'm going to put it into a bowl of water to clean all the glue off straight away. I don't need to worry about the glue on the cardstock because that will stay sticky for at least a week. Next, I'm going to put a border around the edge of the cardstock by holding my fat foam at an angle, straight against the card, and wiping. This creates a perfect line down the edge, and I'll do this on all sides. Next, I'm going to take my Winter Dawn Mega Flakes and flake the whole piece. Taking the flat of my hand, I'm going to press all of the flake that I've just put onto that into the glue. Taking the scoochy foam, I'm going to take off excess flake from the back, from the sides, and then the fronts. Start with the edges, and then I'll bring all this fine detail up and get rid of pieces like that. And now I have a beautiful gilded card base. I do have a couple of places where I've overstamped. There's one here and one here. So I'm going to take my Wizzy eraser, and the best part about gilding flakes is you can rub it out. So if you make a mistake, don't worry. The overstamping there, you can see it's gone. Moving on to the holly bow portion of the card. First I'm going to line it centrally onto my Slim Jim. I'm taking the background that I've just created, I'm going to stamp in a fine detail stamping ink. Next, I'm going to stamp out the same stamp twice onto different cardstock. I'm going to put this one aside to dry because our gilding flake is actually made out of metal, so it needs to dry where the black has gone over the flake. So the two that I've got here, I'm going to colour in. So I need a water brush now and some colours of ink. I've taken a holly looking green, and use whichever colouring medium is suitable for yourself and whatever you like to use the most. Taking a red, and I'm going to colour the bow in a silvery grey colour, but you could do yours in any colour that you wish. Taking a spritzer bottle, the Indigoblu spritzer, I'm going to add a little bit of water to each and just do some washes over the images. I'm doing the same amount of detail on both because when we layer them up, you will be able to see the underneath a little bit, and we don't want the underneath to just be left white. Following the lines on the ribbon, I've added in some darker shading. All of Kay's stamps are designed so wherever there's more lines, that's where your darker part of the stamp will be when you're colouring in. It's done like that so it makes it easy for you to colour in and to have a good effect straight away because you know exactly where your shading is going to be. So that's the first layer cut out, and that'll be the behind layer. So now I'm going to cut out the top layer, which I'm going to cut out a few of the back. So not all of these will be on. I'm probably going to take off that one, that one, that one, and them two. So probably them two, that one, and I'm going to basically leave these front 4, 5. But I might change my mind as I go along, so again I'll probably fast forward through this bit. Okay, so when I compare the two, you can see, hold it, I've cut off these back ones here, this little back one, and these two back ones here. So now I need to put this all of it together. I want to first of all add a little bit of colour to the outside edge of this background because I don't quite like it as it is. So taking my favourite wintry colour of ink, I'm just going to add a grey haze, and it's the same grey that I've used on the ribbon, so it'll meld in perfectly. So I've just added a nice grey border to that backing, and I'm going to now glue it all down to the card base. First of all, I'm going to take that beautiful craft layer that we did earlier, that I did earlier, not you, and taking the glitter glue, I'm just going to add a bit to the back. Glitter glue is not just a stamping glue, it is actually a really good all-round glue. And once your paper is down and stuck, it's never coming off, which is always good with a glue. Some glues, after a certain amount of time, they lose their stickiness and the glue just drops off and it stops working, so your card fronts fall off. That'll never happen with glitter glue. And because there is no water content in the flitter glue, it will not make your card bend either. So that there is pretty much stuck forever now. So I'm going to do the same and glue this layer on. So this is the card base done. Next I need to decoupage up my layers. So I'm going to bend it through my fingers and just add a bit of shape to the piece. So you can see it's bent. Taking some 3D glue gel, I'm going to add the glue generously to the back. This one is one that doesn't smell. And I'm going to just line that up.